What is imitation theory? Let's begin with a distinction. This isn't about a simulation. It's not about machines running the world or some coded matrix hiding behind your eyes. Imitation theory doesn't suggest we're living in a digital program. It suggests something far stranger, something more subtle, more psychological, more spiritual. But to understand that, I need to first explain simulation theory. Simulation theory is the popular idea, especially in tech and philosophical circles, that we're all living inside a highly advanced computer simulation. Like characters in a video game, we're unaware of the code behind our existence. It was made mainstream by thinkers who argued that if any civilization became technologically advanced enough to simulate conscious beings, it's statistically likely that we are those beings. The idea echoes the Matrix, of course, but it's also deeply philosophical. It raises questions about agency, free will, and whether reality is real if it's perfectly emulated. It's seductive. It sounds plausible. It makes the surreal feel scientific. But here's the thing. Imitation theory doesn't claim we're living in a machine. It claims we're living in a copy, a degraded copy of what used to be real. This world isn't fake. It's not made of pixels or holograms, but it's thinned out, weaker in emotional gravity, a reprint of a reprint, like a city built on top of an older city. But the foundations are gone, and no one remembers the original layout. The streets look the same. The names sound familiar, but the substance has faded. The meaning has faded. Imitation theory proposes that at some point, maybe all at once, maybe in pieces, we crossed a threshold. Reality no longer generated itself from source. It began to generate itself from memory, from loops, from whatever it used to work. It's not a simulation. It's an imitation, a replay of patterns, aesthetics, emotions, and structures that once carried meaning, but now flicker like old neon signs left on after closing. This theory wasn't born in a lab. It was born in the gut. It's not a framework meant to explain physics or metaphysics. It's a name for a feeling you've probably had before but didn't know how to place. Ask yourself, why does everything feel like a reboot? Why are the most popular things today remakes of the past? Why do the aesthetics of other decades, Y2K, 80s, 90s, dominate, while the present struggles to define itself? Why does time feel thinner, faster, more slippery than ever before? You're not imagining things. You're sensing the imitation. Culture today is not creating, it's recycling. Language is not deepening, it's flattening. Time is not linear, it's looping. There is no single cause, no single villain. But the experience is real and increasingly widespread. Some blame the internet. Some blame capitalism. Some blame trauma or globalization or technology. The truth is, they all contribute. But imitation theory is less interested in blame and more interested in awareness. It invites you to notice the subtle ways that reality has changed. It gives you permission to say what most people only whisper. This doesn't feel real anymore. We binge stories but remember none. We scroll for hours and retain nothing. We consume faster than we can metabolize. This is not just a cultural glitch. It's a psycho-spiritual condition. We become accustomed to signs without meanings. Think about it. How many times have you read a motivational quote and felt nothing? How many ads sound like parodies of each other? How often do you catch yourself performing an emotion instead of feeling it? The world hasn't gone fake. It's gone formulaic. We have the shapes, but not the source. And when culture is built from echo instead of origin, everything becomes slightly uncanny. Art becomes content. People become brands. Presence becomes performance. Even the self begins to feel modular, swappable, algorithmic. Imitation theory gives us language for that feeling. It's not about paranoia. It's about clarity, about finally admitting that something is off, and always has been, at least since the fracture. So, when did the imitation begin? Was it 2020, when the world shut down and tried to reboot? Was it 2016, when reality TV became political reality? Was it 2001, when time broke and never fully restarted? Was it 1999, when we asked whether the future itself would collapse under the weight of its own code? Maybe it wasn't a moment. Maybe it was a slow leak, a gradual drift away from origin. Or maybe it was always this way, and only now are we beginning to notice. Here's the deeper truth. The imitation doesn't need to fool you. It only needs to keep you busy enough not to ask where the real one went. The rest of this book will trace the cracks. It will examine what's been lost, what still flickers beneath the surface, and how we might find our way back, not by fixing the world, but by learning to see it again, not with nostalgia, not with fear, but with the kind of attention that breaks spells. This has been an excerpt from Imitation Theory by Sam Elliott. Read the full book and discover more stories that question the nature of reality at mybook.to/imitation theory.